Believe that Joe's climate policies is a jobs plan. Forget the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of hardworking men and women that are now out of work because Joe shut down the Keystone XL pipeline with a stroke of a pen. We're told that the Dakota pipeline may follow next. Forget about the tens of thousands more Americans losing jobs because of new fracking and drilling restrictions. Forget about the thousands that got pink slips, last week because Biden halted all the border wall construction. But according to the Biden administration, they're trying to sell this differently. None of it matters because they say a whopping 1 million new green energy jobs will magically appear and fill the void. Even the Associated Press, hardly conservative, calling this a farce and accusing the Biden administration of leaving out important context and, yes, using that fuzzy math. They even call Biden's million-job promise, quote, far from certain, if not unlikely. In other words, Joe Biden is lying. But according to Vice President Kamala Harris, the new Green Deal radical socialist agenda is critically important for our country because those of you in West Virginia, will be getting out of the landmine retrieval business. Okay, like president, like vice president. Take a look.
And so it's job creation around investing in American manufacturing, job creation in terms of investing in American infrastructure and building up, back up American infrastructure, job creation around, for example, all of those skilled workers who are in the coal industry and transferring those skills to what we need to do in terms of dealing with reclaiming abandoned landmines, what we need to do around plugging leaks from oil and gas wells, and transferring those important skills to the work that has yet to be done that needs to get done.
Well, I bet that's news to the hardworking people of West Virginia. To make matters worse, a local interview there, the state's Democratic Senator Joe Manchin was clearly mortified, and he was never even notified that the vice president would be conducting these interviews in his state, telling one local station, quote, we're going to try and find a bipartisan pathway forward, but we do need to work together. That's not a way of working together. By the way, is it an accident local interviews were also scheduled, West Virginia and Arizona. That's right, home to the only two Democratic senators that will not go along with ending the legislative filibuster. Coincidence. Keep in mind the Biden administration, they've shown zero interest in working with anyone else. Remember, Biden promised unity, and he vowed to reach across party lines, then immediately signed a whopping record, 3 times the number of the last 3 presidents combined, 42 executive orders, things that he says he couldn't do, that he's not a dictator, and that he needed the votes. Apparently not. According to the climate-obsessed radicals in his base, there's no time to waste because the planet is dying. John Kerry says we have 9 years. Americans must make sacrifices, or, some Americans must make sacrifices, but not if your name is John Kerry. Biden's special climate envoy, he frequently enjoys the comfort, the convenience of his very own private jet. We went back, we looked at the records Fox News did this year, and look at what we saw from last year. His private jet was responsible for a whopping 116 metric tons of carbon. Now, 116 metric tons of carbon. By comparison, a typical American emits a mere 4.6 metric tons of carbon from driving. It's almost as if John Kerry isn't that concerned about the environment after all. In reality, the left's obsession with the climate has little to do with pollution. It is a political tool for them. In fact, according to FoxNews.com, the Biden campaign raised a lot of money from green energy companies that will all now likely be rewarded for their efforts. But no doubt billions of your tax dollars will be soon headed their way. Not the jobs that ultimately millions of Americans will lose. And meanwhile, Americans might not ever receive the $2,000 in COVID relief. Remember Biden promised? According to the DNC, $1,400 is the new goal. Ultimately, I have no idea what's going to happen with the COVID relief package. In fact, tonight there's a lot of uncertainty swirling around the Biden administration on a variety of important issues. One reason for the uncertainty is that the White House press secretary is completely, utterly clueless, unprepared, and unwilling to provide truthful answers. She's going to circle back with the entire world. Take a look.
And last thing I just want to do before we get to your questions, I often note I'm going to circle back. I hate to disappoint conservative Twitter, but I'm going to circle back on a number of things, as we often do directly.
We're going to circle back, and circle back again. A longer montage coming. And that charade's been going on for 2 weeks and counting.
Happy to circle back with our team on that specific report. I will have to circle back on that one. I have to circle back with you on it. It's a good question. We'll circle back with you. But we'll circle back with you on this today. We will circle back, certainly circle back. We'll circle back, I'll circle back. I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well.
And I'll